All right, so let me so I have my mic and my cord connected to my DSP, which is underneath that amplifier. I'll shut that back up. Hopefully my little laptop has enough charge to start, but I don't have much faith in that. All right, this isn't quite as aggravating on a normal computer, but on this little laptop it can be a bit of a bird dog. But because it's the, you know, stupid mobile Windows thing. But here's our DSP, if we can get her to start. It's got to try to connect to the network. It's got to do all its dumb stuff. No, we don't want you to do that. Okay, there we go. That's what we wanted to start, is that app. Now, I don't know, this is going to be terrible video. Yeah, it's going to be terrible. So I can see that it's connected up here and see my different channels. I got them set with no EQ on them right now. Just the crossovers are set. And so I went through and set all the crossovers. I'm going to change them though, because I'm going to retune all this. So channel, where we set at 60 hertz to 1000. That's my doors. And channels 1 and channel 2, 60 hertz to 1000. Channels 3 is okay, yeah, that's the A pillars, 170 hertz to 20,000. That's the A pillars, the little tiny mids and the tweeters. And I got a real broad spectrum set, and the reason is because I'll adjust the crossovers more fine-tuned after I get done with the tuning. But I want to EQ them at a full spectrum, and then I can go through, because it does them separately. So then I can go through and set the crossovers tighter and wider. Right now I have it in the most extreme it'll be ever. And then when I run the EQ, the auto EQ, it will give me an EQ for the whole thing, and then I can chop it off, you know, later. So I got it set for a wide spectrum, and my front sub is set 30 hertz to 170 hertz. My big subs are set to infinite up to 100 hertz. So all that's set. So then once you get your crossover points set, and you go over here to advanced auto calibration. Wait a minute, yeah, auto calibration. Okay, brings this up. And again, I don't know how good you can see this, but the little light orange, red curve up there, the one that goes up and comes down, that's the target curve. And there's 2 target curves that are saved. That's 1, and 2 is got a much softer roll off on the bottom end. I tend to prefer that slightly brighter twinkle at the end, so I'll leave it with this kind of an almost smiley face curve. This is the curve it's going to try to get to. Then over here, you select the channels you want to EQ. Oh my God, Windows, go away. Okay, we want to select each one, because by default it'll only have channel 1 selected. You have to go through and select each channel you want it to work on. Okay, and that's what it's going to do. It's going to work on all those channels. Then down below that, in your options, you got EQ, delay, and phase. So you can, this is the stuff that you want it to do. You want the tools you want it to have to work with. So, oops, that one's unselected. Get that one. So you select the channels you want it to work on. Then down below that, in the options, you select the tools you want it to be able to use. And I have all those checked on. When you get done with that, and by the way, my mic is right up there on top of my headrest. So that's where my mic is. And the volume's turned all the way down. It plays everything through the DSP, so it doesn't care what the volume is set at. But whenever it gets done, it'll start playing again, and I don't want it cranked up. So then we go to start. Then whenever you press the button, the next button, it actually starts. So that's when you press OK. Close the door, and I'll try to give you guys a view of what's going on. Now you can see it's already running. That blue line is the progress bar. So it'll start out by running channels 1 and 2, then 3 and 4, then 5 and 6. It'll run peak noise, and it'll listen to that. It'll set the EQ. You can see it's already adjusting the EQ. It'll run it again for time alignment. It'll run it, and it'll flip the phase if it thinks it needs phase to be flipped on one of the speakers. It EQs each speaker. EQs, time aligns, phase adjustments. That's the A-pillars. There's subs again, the big ones. And basically what it's doing is exactly what you would be doing if you had a REQ or REW, an RTA analyzer, and you were playing pink noise. It's one channel each channel. So it plays the channel, listens to the pink noise, or whatever noise it is, and then it tries to equalize that channel to where the perceived sound at the microphone, which will be where your ear is lined up on that that bar that it's got set. That one, you know, it's where you're trying to get everything to. So you want it to all equalize. At that point. I'll show you here in a second. Alright guys, she is done. It only takes about 5 minutes to run, if that, for all of the channels. So I'll try to get you guys a better shot of this. Doing it freestyle, baby. Now this is what we ended up with. If you look at, we can turn off different channels in the graph and show just individuals. So we're going to turn off all but channel 1. Okay, this line right here was the target curve we were shooting for. It goes up here and comes down and goes back up. Actually, let's turn on a different channel so it's easier to see. We'll turn on channel 3. Better color contrast. Then, of course, that's the center line. And this is channel 3, which is the passenger side door. And the dotted line represents what it ended up with. Okay, that's what we ended up getting. And the solid yellow line is the actual is the speaker curve with the EQ applied. So I'll take that back. The dotted line is the EQ. So you see the solid line, this is what it heard, had a peak right there, right? So it dipped that spot. Then it had a dip right there, so it pushed that spot up a little. Peak, and it had put a dip. And what you ended up with is the red line in the middle. That's how it ends up working. So let's take that one away and let's do a subwoofer. Let's do, okay, yeah, that's a good example. So in this example, the solid blue line where my fingernail is, that one is the sub, what it heard, and then the dotted line is what it did. Okay, so right in here it had a peak, so we put in a valley. It peaked hard, so we put in a big dip. Then it come down to a valley, so we put in a little bit of a raise, peak, dip, and then on out. So it's adjusting it so that it ends up lining up with this curve here. That's what it's shooting for. Now once this all gets done, you can analyze each channel. Once it's all done, then you hit to save data. Okay, it says this tune has been saved to DSP. Then we make sure I'm not missing anything. We close that. It brings this up. You'll see it synchronizing. Then you go up here to set to scene. You hit the scene button, and then you save as default scene, and I'm going to save it as auto, and then hit save. You can put in whatever name of any channel you want. I just have one named auto in there. We hit OK. It asks you to name the channel. It's already named. There we go. Once it does that, it will, yep, says it's saved successfully. And in here you can edit channels and all that. But this is our tune. So if we go to channels 1, now you can see there's some alterations been made. There's channel 2, there's channel 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So it's applied a tune to every speaker in here. And by the way, if you're wondering, 6 is my console sub. That's the sub that's up under there. And that is how you auto-tune using the Audio Dynamics DSP 468T. It's pretty cool. Of course, you can go in here and manually tune everything as well. There's tons you can do. You can do most of this on your phone, but you have to have a computer to do the auto-tune. So there's that. It has to be a Windows computer, which is why I use this particular tablet. It's because it's a Windows tablet. It's why I bought this tablet, was for this purpose. But now you know how that works. Anyway, hopefully that was fun for you guys. Hopefully you understood what I was trying to say. But yeah, that would be the dotted line in the before graph. You know, there you go. Alright, we're going to listen to a little bit of music that I have, that I can play on YouTube from the tune I just did.
reason if they wanna go eat.
Here we go.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing.